کر دیں گے. میں انشاءاللہ یہ پیکا زہر کا ٹیکا کھائے گا اور تم ہمیں نہیں پکڑ سکو گے. تمہارے عزائم خاک میں ملا دیں گے. میں انشاءاللہ تعالی ہم آج ہی انشاءاللہ تعالی جوائنٹ ایکشن کمیٹی کی مشاورت سے آئندہ لاہ عمل کا اعلان کریں گے. ہم اپنا لاہ عمل اگریسو کیمپین کریں گے, اگریسو احتجاج کریں گے, ریلیاں نکالی جائیں گی, تمہاری اسمبلیوں کا گھیراؤ ہوگا. ہم کسی اسمبلی, نیشنل اسمبلی, پورے چاروں صوبوں کی اسمبلیاں نہیں چلیں گی, وہاں بائیکاٹ ہوں گے, نیشنل اسمبلی بائیکاٹ ہوں گے, سڑکیں بند کریں گے, ہم آپ کے گھروں کے آگے آئیں گے. ہم آپ کو جینے نہیں دیں گے جب تک پیکا آرڈیننس واپس نہیں ہوتا. یہ کوئی عام بات نہیں. ہم انشاءاللہ تعالی جوائنٹ ایکشن کمیٹی کے زیر اہتمام آج ہماری میٹنگ بھی ہوگی اور ہم انشاءاللہ تعالی آخری بات یہ ہے کہ نہ صرف سڑکیں, اسمبلیوں کا گھیراؤ, آپ کے گھروں کا گھیراؤ ہم کریں گے, بلکہ ہم انشاءاللہ تعالی اس عدالت کا دروازہ کھٹکھٹائیں گے اور عدالت میں مجھے توقع ہے کہ عدالت ہائی کورٹ, سپریم کورٹ انصاف کرے گی اور آئین کے مطابق کرے گی. انشاءاللہ تعالی آئین میں آئین کی شق 19 اور 19A جو ہے وہ ذاتیہ سلب نہیں کرنے دیتی. انشاءاللہ ہم آئینی پٹیشنز کریں گے اور یہ جوائنٹ آئینی پٹیشن ہوگی جو جوائنٹ ایکشن کمیٹی کرے گی اور پورے پاکستان کی اپوزیشن پارٹیاں اور ہر سیگمنٹ ہمارے ساتھ ہوگا. میں آپ کا ایک مرتبہ پھر تمام یہاں آنے والوں کا بےحد مشکور ہوں, وکلا کا, تاجروں کا, صحافیوں کا, صحافتی تنظیموں کا, اور میں انشاءاللہ تعالی اس امید کے ساتھ کہ اگلی جو کال ہوگی آپ ہمارا پھر ساتھ دیں گے. پاکستان زندہ باد.
ارشد انصاری صاحب کے خطاب کے بعد میں خطاب تو نہیں کروا سکوں گا, لیکن پاکستان مرکزی مسلم لیگ کے رہنما ان کی قیادت یہاں پہنچی ہے, میں ان کو بھی ویلکم کرتا ہوں. حنظلہ صاحب اور باقی ساتھی جو تشریف لائے ہیں, بہت شکریہ.
متنازع پیکا ایکٹ صحافیوں کا احتجاج. لاہور کے مناظر جو آپ ملاحظہ کر رہے ہیں, اب سے کچھ دیر قبل ارشاد انصاری جو ہے وہ خطاب کر رہے تھے. انہوں نے کہا کہ ہم تمہارے عزائم خاک میں ملا دیں گے. جوائنٹ ایکشن کمیٹی میں متفقہ طور پر شدید احتجاج کا سلسلہ جاری رکھا جائے گا اور آج ہم میٹنگ کریں گے. اس کے علاوہ انہوں نے کہا اسمبلی اور آپ کے گھروں کا گھیراؤ کریں گے اور عدالت بھی جائیں گے. ہمیں پوری امید ہے کہ عدالت ہمیں انصاف دے گی. انہوں نے کہا میڈیا کو پابند کرنے کی کوشش ہو رہی ہے, ہم ایسا نہیں ہونے دیں گے. اور انہوں نے کہا ہم پہلے دن سے احتجاج کر رہے ہیں اور ہم تب تک احتجاج کریں گے جب تک یہ ایکٹ واپس نہیں لیا جاتا. اور یہ بھی کہا کہ یہ حکمران رہیں یا نہ رہے, ہم میڈیا کے نمائندے یہاں موجود رہیں گے.
Engaging with many of them like Malaysia, Saudi Arabia itself, Russia has been one, Belarus has been one. At the same time, we have engaged with as a single country with Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan itself, and again focusing has been one, Belarus has been one. At the same time, we have engaged with as a single country with Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan itself, and again focusing on with the Saudi Arabian part a lot, and similarly trying to focus, which we have not yet, the biggest market we have in West is US and European Union. We have engaged ourselves in certain areas where our overall engagements and non-solved issues we have with US, with USTR, but with the new government coming in place, Pakistan is going to be re-engaged again and try to capitalize the markets which already exist. In tariff lines, there have been a very serious concern. What the government basically did in the last budget, unfortunately, many of them were let down and which were not accepted by the Ministry of Commerce in the budget we had, on which we raised a lot of questions also. But this time, in the new budget, what the Ministry of Commerce is trying to do is they've already sensitized the Ministry of Finance that commerce has to be engaged at all levels because it's the concern which we get from the market is directly to us. All the chambers, associations, companies, and organizations, they come to us. And we are the platform and we are the right people who listen to them more in our own way and keeping the overall economy of Pakistan, the growth of Pakistan. It's a long list of things which we like to address also. And one other key component which I've seen as a personal experience of my thing is revamping the whole and reforming the Commerce Ministry itself. A lot of steps that we have taken in terms of TDAP and DGTRO, EDF itself, IPO and other sectors, which is very important too. If we are not reforming and strengthening our own organizations, that's the really basics of uplifting the overall trade diplomacy. And one key component, I think, so a good step which the caretaker took was how the new trade investment officers are representing Pakistan globally. There was a very good mechanism of hiring them through lumps and then identifying sectors and engaging them in different missions. What we did on top of that is to evaluate them and see how they're functioning for Pakistan. How are they engaging with the business community over there and trying to make that bridge gap closer by engaging the business community here in Pakistan. So we've created this portal where they are evaluated on the daily basis what they're doing, who are they engaging with, what numbers, KPIs they have achieved and all. And now that we are in the second phase of hiring the trade officers again, which is already completed and I'm about to take the interviews, we have introduced 5 more components. So it's just not like sending your representative in a mission. So you need to identify that country and who's fit for that country. So each country has its own needs, how the people are, how the government is, how you need to really pursue your industry, what kind of a sector you have more in that country. So inshallah, these new officers are going to be taken keeping these 5-6 benchmarks in front. And the only reason I am emphasizing on this thing is these are the people who represent us, and they'll be the people who will be representing the whole business community and trying to gain what they can from the other missions. At the same time, like I've said, the reform overall has to be more domestic also. You know, we talk about export surplus all the time, but if you don't have a good domestic trade mechanism, it's very difficult to really achieve and get that extra mile to be a trade surplus. And for that, we are reviving old policy, which was the domestic policy, which was there with the Ministry of Commerce, but was kept in a cold storage reasons well known to people. But we are trying to revive that, engage with the provinces, engage with the industrial departments of provinces and federal authorities to really bring up the supply chain in a better form and enhanced form. With all these things, we have gained quite a good number of numbers in the agriculture side, which really went a little higher, 3.5. And especially there was the rice sector where we saw the growth. But I very much believe that there's a lot of potential in the growth of agro-based products in Pakistan. And for that purpose, we had a good AG Expo, which happens every year. But this time we have introduced another expo, which is going to be held next month in Lahore. And that is going to be agri-tech. Technology has to really come in agriculture. So the value chain has to increase, the volume has to increase, the value addition has to increase through technology. And that's one key component which I feel is missing in Pakistan's overall industry. The growth has to come through technology. And for that, there has to be like skill development, industrial growth development, industrial technology development. And these kind of phases do have to be of certain level where they can attract a lot of good investors to Pakistan. So by keeping these aspects in mind, like the 660 billion figure that we have that we could achieve in another 4 years' time, in my point of view, if things are done very rightly, it's very much achievable. But at the same time, if we don't address these key challenges and issues of cost of production to energy, to taxation, and other ease of business in Pakistan, then I must say that it will be very difficult to even come closer to it. So by keeping all these things, this is what the Ministry of Commerce has really put forward to the federal government. And with the assistance that we need all these aspects to be addressed also. plus keeping IT and services on one side. So this is an overall view that we feel that we engage in all these sectors, Pakistan can definitely achieve all these things. But at the same time, my core belief is very much that we need to give the industrial growth in Pakistan. If there's no industrial growth in Pakistan, it's going to be very difficult. So we need to give that space. But I'm sure you all are well aware how our recent negotiations have gone with IMF, which has restricted us to some corners, to some areas where we have not been able to work very freely in many sectors. But I'm sure with as passing day, Pakistan will definitely make its position a little stronger and will be in a better position of renegotiate on few things.
नाज़रीन, ये मनाज़र आप मुलाहिज़ा कर सकते हैं। मुतनाज़िर पीका एक्ट सहाफ़ियों के एहतजाज का सिलसिला जारी है। लाहौर, कराची, इस्लामाबाद और दीगर छोटे बड़े शहरों में एहतजाज का सिलसिला जारी है। नारेबाजी की जा रही है। बताया जा रहा है कि आज़ादी इज़हार राय को दबाने नहीं देंगे। रैलियाँ निकाली जा रही हैं और इन रैलियों में सहाफ़ियों की बड़ी तादाद में शिरकत।